Picture this: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then your entire working week is done. No creeping into a fifth exhausted day, no sacrificing your weekend just to catch up on rest. 3 full days off every single week for the rest of your working life. Sounds like a fantasy, right? Except it's already been tested in the real world on real companies with real employees. In 2015, a New Zealand company called Perpetual Guardian ran a genuinely bold experiment. Their founder, Andrew Barnes, proposed cutting the standard working week from 5 days to 4, while keeping full pay exactly the same. His only condition was that productivity had to stay level. What happened surprised almost everyone involved, including Barnes himself. Productivity didn't drop. In many measures, it actually improved. Employees reported significantly less stress, better work-life balance, and higher engagement while they were actually at their desks. I'll admit, when I first read that result, my instinct was skepticism. Surely working 1 fewer day just means less gets done. But the data from multiple later trials kept telling a strikingly similar story. The UK ran one of the largest pilots of its kind in 2022, with over 60 companies and around 3,000 employees testing a 4-day week for 6 months. The vast majority of those companies chose to keep the policy permanently after the trial ended, because their revenue held steady or even grew. So how does working 1 day less somehow produce the same or even better results? The answer seems to lie in something called Parkinson's law, an idea proposed by writer Cyril Northcote Parkinson back in 1955. Parkinson's law states that work expands to fill the time available for its completion. Give someone 5 days for a task, and it will somehow take 5 days. Give that same person 4 days for the exact same task, and remarkably, it often still gets done. A shorter, tighter time frame forces sharper prioritization. Meetings get shorter or disappear entirely. Distractions get ruthlessly cut. The genuinely unproductive hours that quietly bloat a normal working week, scrolling, chatting, half-focused busy work, simply don't fit anymore. Now let's stretch this thought experiment further. What if this wasn't just a handful of companies, but the entire structure of civilization? Roads would empty out on an extra day every week. Restaurants, gyms, and parks would see demand spread more evenly across the week, instead of crushing entirely into narrow weekend windows. Childcare pressures could ease significantly, since parents would have more overlapping time with their children's schedules. Mental health researchers have also pointed to potential drops in burnout-related illness, since chronic overwork is strongly linked to cardiovascular disease and severe anxiety disorders. Of course, not every job translates neatly into this model. Hospitals, emergency services, and continuous manufacturing lines can't simply lose a working day without someone somewhere covering the difference. And there's a real economic question lurking underneath all of this too. If this became the global standard, would wages truly stay the same forever? Or would the market slowly adjust downward over time to compensate employers for the lost day? Critics also point out that these trials, while genuinely promising, still represent a small, often self-selected slice of companies motivated enough to try something new in the first place. Whether the results would hold at a much larger, mandatory scale remains a genuinely open question. Still, the consistency of the results across very different countries and industries is hard to simply wave away. So here's the thought worth carrying with you. We built an entire 5-day working structure around industrial-era assembly lines from over a century ago, long before most modern jobs even existed. What if the real productivity crisis was never about people working too few days, but about a schedule that was never actually designed for the way we work today?